Have you ever wondered what fueled the passion for speed long before grandstands and official racing leagues existed? What drove early racers to push their vehicles to the limit, often from any designated track? Before the roar of NASCAR engines filled organized stadiums, informal races primarily took place on dirt tracks, at local fairgrounds, and even along secluded public roads. These impromptu contests were the raw, untamed birthplace of stock car racing, deeply rooted in American ingenuity and daring. The primary reason for this underground racing scene was the era of Prohibition in the United States, which spanned from 1920 to 1933. With the legal ban on alcohol, a lucrative black market for liquor quickly emerged. Bootleggers, as they were known, needed fast, modified cars to outrun law enforcement while transporting their illicit cargo, often moonshine, across state lines or through rural areas. This necessity for speed and evasion transformed ordinary cars into powerful machines and drivers into skilled, daring pilots. They would challenge each other to races to prove whose car was fastest and whose driving skills were superior, often for bragging rights, small wagers, or simply to test their mettle. These early races weren't organized with strict rules or safety crews. They were spontaneous events, sometimes advertised by word of mouth, drawing crowds of curious spectators. Drivers would adapt their street cars, reinforcing suspensions, upgrading engines, and even adding secret compartments to hide their liquor. The techniques learned on these treacherous routes, like precision driving and mechanical tuning, laid the groundwork for future racing disciplines. These informal contests allowed drivers to constantly refine their craft and vehicles under real-world, high-pressure conditions. One fascinating aspect was the role of the moonshiners themselves. These individuals, often working in clandestine distilleries, were not just producers but also innovators. They understood the mechanics of their cars intimately, constantly tinkering to extract more speed and durability. This hands-on, trial-and-error approach to vehicle modification directly influenced the development of the stock car, creating a unique culture of mechanical expertise that became a hallmark of the sport. It fostered a community where practical engineering and driving prowess were paramount. Ultimately, these informal races on dusty backroads and local fairgrounds forged the very DNA of NASCAR. They cultivated a generation of fearless drivers and brilliant mechanics, all driven by a shared love for speed and competition. It was this vibrant, if unofficial, racing culture that provided the foundation and the passionate individuals who would eventually come together to create the structured, high-stakes world of organized stock car racing we know and love today, building a sport on the legacy of courage, speed, and American grit.